In the pandemic, I hired a life coach, a career coach, a personal trainer, and a therapist because I really wanted to ensure that I was not wasting that time and I was co-creating my best life possible. So now I'm going to tell you all of the amazing things, resources, teachings that I got from hiring external help, so you don't have to spend all that time and money like I did. And these are just like top greatest hits. I learned a ton. Number one is from my therapist. I would be talking to my therapist and I would be expressing a story. Let's say I was really sad or frustrated. And as I'm just intellectually telling her what's happening, she would always stop me and say, "How do you feel?" And I would say, I don't know, I guess I feel sad. And she would say, "How do you know you feel sad?" And she would make me do something called a body scan, literally from head to toe. How is your throat feeling? Your chest, is it tightening up? Are your arms crossed? Are your legs crossed, etc.? I would have to walk her through every single experience I was feeling in my body. Why that was so transformative is we have a tendency to intellectually gaslight ourselves out of things, people, situations, etc., that our body already knows the truth to. Our body and our subconscious picks up on micro expressions that our brain has not yet perceived. And so by learning to understand how your body responds to threats or also feelings of safety, you can learn when people, situations, experiences, places, etc. are right for you. Okay, here's what I learned from my career coach, which is interesting because she kind of operated more like a life coach, but I learned something called the wellness wheel. This is really great for when you're in seasons where you kind of feel off, but you don't exactly know how or why or how to fix it. Do something called the pillars of well-being. Basically, you go through and figure out all of the things that contribute to your own well-being. So it could be physical well-being, home and safety, career, finances, recreation, social interaction, etc. Write out all of those things and you can just Google wellness wheel. This will come up and then rate each of them on a scale of 1 to 10. After you rate all of those things, write down the reasons why you gave it that rating. So let's say for social well-being, I haven't seen my friends in a while. I'm working from home. I don't get a lot of interaction, etc. Anything that you rate below a 6 or 7, you then have to come up with some sort of plan of action to sort of counteract why you're feeling that way. So I will make a plan to hang out with one of my friends this week or FaceTime one of my friends this month. The second thing my career coach taught me, I would complain a lot about my previous manager. And I would say things like, "Oh, he doesn't support me. He didn't promote me. He doesn't invest in me. He doesn't advocate for me, etc." And as I'm like doing this diatribe of complaining, she would stop me and say, "Did you ask for your manager to meet your needs?" And that line of thinking really transformed how I engaged in relationships, all forms of relationships moving forward, because I find it is so much easier for us to complain and self-victimize versus having the courage to understand that our needs are not being met, identify what our needs even are, and 3, have the vulnerability and the courage to ask someone to meet our needs in the face of them possibly saying no. So before you just critique and complain about what your manager, your friend, or your partner is not doing for you, I would invite you to ask yourself, have you even expressed what your needs were to them, and have you given them an opportunity or chance to meet your needs? Okay, this is getting kind of long, so I think I'm gonna do a part 2, but the next part was my life coach, who was more like a femininity and dating coach. And then after that, my personal trainer. But I'm going to do a part 2 because I know y'all are not going to watch a 5-minute video. So stick around.